Good morning, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us while we were getting started. I say we. I was having technical issues, but I think we got most of those cleared up. So, for those of you who might be new here, or this is your first time tuning in with us, welcome. This is Learning Fantasy Grounds. My name is Brandy Camel. I'm the community manager for Dungeons and Dragons. And joining me today, and as always, is Doug and Jen. If you guys don't mind introducing yourselves for everyone, since it's only our second show.
I'm Doug Davison. I'm the president and one of the owners of Smiteworks, the creators of Fantasy Grounds.
And I'm Jen Page. I'm the marketing specialist at Fantasy Grounds, and I'm very pleased that you guys let me back in. Here for another stream.
Yeah. Let us know how audio is, by the way. I know folks were a little bit quiet last time. I can make some adjustments on my end. We definitely want to make sure that you guys can hear everything that we're saying so that everyone can learn along. So please, chat, feel free to pipe in and let us know how we sound. Last week, what we did was we kind of got Doug and Jen started. We got their characters created, introduced them to the town, and kind of got things going. And where we're starting now is they went to the job board, looked at the quests that we got going, or that were available to them. Audio is fine. Can hear all three of you. Great. Thanks, chat.
Hey.
That's awesome. And they decided that they wanted to go check out Nomen, where there are some reclusive gnomes that need some help.
Because it was either that or White Dragon, and we don't think we're ready for that.
What? Level 1 players not ready for a White Dragon?
There were a couple other tasks.
There were a couple of other tasks.
Like, that's all I saw. It was just White Dragon. I'm like, no.
So you guys are going to see a lot more, and this is the nature of what this is doing. You know, the goal of this stream is to teach you guys as much about Fantasy Grounds as possible. It's a really powerful tool for running online games, and we want as many people as possible to know what they're getting into and how they can make the best use of the tool. So you guys are actually going to be seeing a lot from my perspective as the Dungeon Master. That does mean there will be spoilers for Dragon of Icespire Peak. It does mean that Doug and Jen, I am also trusting because they will see a lot more than they're used to by seeing it on the other screen. Mm-hmm. But, everybody trusts everyone here. This will be fine. And ultimately, this is about learning. So that's what we want to have here. So I've pulled up a few things in order to start us on this quest today. Through the library, which is, where you should always go for pretty much anything in Fantasy Grounds. This is your directory. This is your index for finding everything. So I dug into story to find this, went on down to starting quests, and that's actually what I have open right here is the starting quests, because it kind of gives me the layout of what I need to walk everybody through stuff. And we're doing Nomen. So, you guys already have the quest card. I think I shared that last time.
Correct, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I saved once it's shared with you, I think in this particular case, you just right-clicked and did share. And so I was able to save that down to my hotkey bar so I can pull it up and reference it afterwards. So.
Now, I don't think I did that. So as a player who did not save it as a hotkey, how do I find it?
So that one could be either just reshared, I think.
So I will go ahead and do that. I'll share that.
Okay, I see it.
So there's your quest card.
So then you just drag the little eye icon down to a hotkey?
Yep.
Awesome.
Or you can put it in a note or other area that you're typing to.
Yep, and this hotbar is pretty much amazing for anything that you need to go back and reference. If there's something that you're going to be using a lot, whether it's a stat block, whether it's a quest card in this case for players, or as a DM, I went ahead of time and I put a lot of the maps I anticipated using on my hotbar to be able to pull those up right away. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I like to do that when I DM because you can just close a window and you don't need to see it anymore, and then you can open it back from the hotkey bar, and it'll return to the same spot that it was on your desktop.
Yeah,
I'm actually.
What if you're at the point where you don't need that hotkey anymore? How do you delete it?
You can right-click on it and choose the clear slot. Looks like a skull and crossbones. No, Jen is not a pirate.
Go to the pirate key.
The pirate key.
It's also easy to overwrite them by just dragging something new onto the bar over it.
See,
Yep.
I just rolled for no reason.
Litha wants new stats.
It's mushroom cloud. That's what I'm here for.
Nice. Still didn't get over 12.
So
I'm just getting the low rolls out of the way.
So we have our starting quest here. Now, say that I want to get to the box text that's in here. I know it exists.
Yes. So for any particular area, so there's a couple of places. One is before you get to actual Nomen, before you get to, I'm peeking over at the screen. I'm not looking in any detail, but I see that you have a map open. So
Yep.
if you have the Dragon of Icespire Peak, if you have that selected in your library for the adventure, there will be a bunch of options on the right. So click that, and then I actually prefer to run from the reference manual because it looks more like a book. So if you click from there, reference manual.
There we go.
And then click on the plus at the bottom, and it'll expand everything out. And then you can kind of work from there. So there should be like Nomen will be in here. And this is organized like the book and then broken down in sections.
Here we go. Perfect.
Yeah, and you can search in there and everything else. And so from there, you've got links to story. And then where it has a box text, you can just click on it, and it'll add it to the chat window.
And I'll go ahead and read this out for the benefit of everybody. It was actually really awesome to be able to just search Nomen and be like, cool, I need all the Nomen stuff. Now it's there and available for me. So a stream leads you to this pool. You follow a stream uphill to the base of the mountain where waterfall erosion has carved out a natural concavity. The roaring waterfall creates a cloud of mist as it plunges into a shallow pool of water, within which rise 2 small islands covered with 2-foot-tall red, green, and purple mushrooms. Several cave openings overlook the pool from rocky ledges 20 to 30 feet above. The mountain blocks any sunlight from reaching this place.
Aha! I have read about these mushrooms. I'm sure I know a story about these mushrooms. I don't know. The red one may make you bigger, I think.
I've already eaten all the mushrooms.
That is probably going to be bad, but yes, you probably have.
So I don't
One of them doesn't do anything.
So at this point, I can put you guys on the map as you're kind of approaching this area.
Okay.
And I believe that's actually going to put you... I see where the red and green mushrooms are.
Yep. So you drag us from the combat tracker.
From the combat tracker. Okay, so from combat tracker rather than...
From the party sheet, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I need to add you guys to the combat tracker.
Yeah. I was like, why is my combat tracker blank?
Yeah, my combat tracker is empty, so...
So you can drag from where our portraits are in the upper left, or you can drag it from the PC sheet.
Ah, okay. There we go. So we've got Jenkins O'Blarney, which I will never get tired of saying.
No.
And Litha.
Yes.
And of course, as we're walking through things as well, you know, this is meant to be an interactive and a learning stream. So if there's questions that you have about anything that's going on, let us know. We're paying attention to chat. Just make sure you put question in front of your question so we have an easier time spotting it.
So now when you want to drag us to the map, you can either drag us individually, one at a time from our portrait, and drop us into a square, or you see the little green, yellow, and red skulls at the bottom of the combat tracker. If you wanted to grab all players all at once, you could just drag the green one and then drop it on the map, and it'll put us in a line.
Perfect. So we'll go ahead and do
Which
that.
is nice if you have like 5 or 6 players and you don't want to just save some steps.
So the player's map is what you guys see, right? I need to share that with you.
Correct. And you want to run off the player's map because it'll be scaled to a larger size. The DM's map is basically just for you to open up and look at. So the DM's map won't have line of sight or anything else set up. So also, you probably want to turn on line of sight. I think we have line of sight on this one. So if you unlock the map.
Let's see. Oh, there it is. Unlock.
Then there should be a, on the play mode, there's like a little eyeball symbol on the right.
There we go. Enable line of sight.
Yep. And now things have disappeared. Cool.
I see the mushrooms.
Do you see the mushrooms?
They look quite tasty. But look, it's weird. The green and the red get along fine, but the green and the purple, they don't. Maybe the red and the purple don't like each other. Hmm.
They're separated.
Yeah, they could be some
The green mushrooms are obviously the embassy of the mushroom world, the
we should
ambassadors of
we should
the.
check in there first.
Agreed. You go first.
Oh, okay, good. Good.
So there's a variety of different ways that you can kind of approach this place. It looks like there's different cliff openings as you can kind of see them off in the distance.
Okay.
All right, and so there's a couple ways you can move. I could click and drag my token around, and my line of sight will change as a player. Or I'm actually sitting on top of Jen's character, so or I could just use the arrow keys, and then once I'm selected, I can move by grid squares,
Oh, that's very cool. That kind of gives a
like a
you know,
video
to-
gamey
a video
sort of
gamey
feel.
feel
Yeah.
to it. That's kind of cool.
And you can move diagonal if you use the number pad.
Doot, 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 doot.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We do need to add that sound effect. That would be cool. If we could license little Mario sounds.
You're right. I was going to say, they might have a problem with it.
Yeah, they probably would. Aha.
Yeah.
And then as you're running the game, there's little push pins, Brandy, that you can click on those to open up what's in any specific area, and then you can re-reference that as we're kind of moving around or whatever.
Excellent. So I have some information on the mushrooms if that's something that you guys wanted to investigate.
How deep is this water on the way over to the little mushroom island?
Let's find out. It's probably not too terribly deep. I'd say maybe a foot at most. You get the idea that the gnomes might come in and out of this area, so water can't be too deep.
Okay. And we don't see any there's no movement in this kind of cavern area?
Make me a perception check.
And I guess I'm going to be looking mostly at the two little islands.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go to my skills, and I'm going to, so here's something. So I could drag this to the chat, and it'll just roll it in front of everybody. If you don't want me to know how good my roll was, but you want to know what it was, then you could enable the dice tower.
Okay.
So that's in the settings. If you go to the options, it looks like a gear in the upper right.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that.
And then there, what I normally do is I have show GM rolls on, and then I turn on the dice tower. Yep. So now that you got dice tower, so if I drag my perception, which is only a +2, and drop it into the dice tower, it verifies that I've rolled 1d20 +2, but I don't have any idea what I rolled. So
gotcha. All right, so I get the benefit of that information. And in this case, because you're walking me through things, you're able to see what's happening on the other end of the screen.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you want to, but so in this case, you're not seeing any particular kind of movement. You definitely see that there's. It does say the pool is about 3 feet deep, at the deepest portions of it. And there's kind of a mist that's hanging around the pool as a result of the waterfall that's in the distance, and that you do hear that roaring that's in the background. Nothing really strikes you as unusual beyond the mushrooms themselves. The colors are, as you can see, there's 3 different colors. There's red mushrooms, there's green mushrooms, and there's purple mushrooms.
Hey, Litha, I really want to know what those mushrooms do, but I don't know that I really want to get soaking wet before we've met the Nomen guard, diplomats. So perhaps on the way out, let's definitely find out what those are. I'm sure there's some great stories involved with mushrooms like that.
Okay. I agree.
All right. So you kind of make note of the mushrooms, and then you realize, there's a couple of other directions that you could go.
We're like, mushrooms.
So is that a bridge that I see kind of off in the distance there?
Yes, so it does look like it's a rope bridge. You don't really see a way to be able to get up to it from where you're at without scaling that cliff.
Okay.
But you do think that there probably is a path to it, just you'd likely have to go through one of these caves first.
Okay. And are there any cave entrances kind of within sight of where we are presently?
So, you do kind of look around, and you do see that, there's slightly to the northeast of you, There's a cliff that you think you might be able to scale, but you'll need to make like a strength check to get up it because it's not, it's not like a clear path. There's definitely some like rubble and things you need to climb. There's also one slightly to the southeast of you here as well. Let's see. I can actually open this up to you to kind of show you that ledge.
There's a little ledge there. Okay.
And there's a ledge there.
It almost looks like there's a little bit smoother path on the one north of us. What do you think, Litha?
Let me see. So north of the one
right,
that
where
I'm
you're
standing
headed.
in front of?
Yeah. Or kind of to your right.
Just right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks cool.
Like right in here, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
To there?
It looks like a little switchback. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a little switchback. All right, so is this one we can go up? Do we need to make a check?
I may have accidentally clicked a button.
Nighttime.
Yep. That's my bad.
It was just a long blink.
So there is a good question in chat, and it's actually something that I was wondering as well.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm actually not seeing the line of sight that you guys are seeing.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if you click on us, you can click on like my character and then control click on Jen's, and it will show what we see.
Yeah.
And you'll still be able to see everything. It'll just be grayed out on your end.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
and
but
that
it's
works for
black to us. It's
NPCs as well. Yeah, we don't see any of the stuff that's in the shaded area.
Okay.
Unless we've already explored it, in which case we see the terrain, but we won't see if there's any NPCs moving around.
So for you guys climbing up this area, I will take a strength check from each of you.
Okay.
All right, let me move my map.
So for a strength check, you can just go to your main tab, and you can double click on strength, and it'll roll a dice, or you can click and drag it into the chat.
Okay. Here we go. 7. I clearly need to be carried up this mountain.
You clearly need a different partner if you want to get carried up this mountain, because I'm barely able to get up on my own.
You're already taking story notes, and that's where she gave up.
So I know I'm looking for... Man, I had this information and then I lost it. That's on me.
Is it on the pushpin description that you were just reading?
I think it was, yeah. It should be...
Maybe in the middle.
It's not on this one. I know it's for... I think it's for entering Nomen Guard. So I'm actually going to open up my library again and the reference manual.
Okay.
Yep.
This is where I had it. Yep.
And remember, if you have any pages that you think you're going to refer back to later that you might want to use, you can pop that page out.
Right.
And then save that to your hotkey bar too.
I'm actually just going to overwrite some of these ones that I don't need right now. So.
And you have more than 12. If you hold down Shift, you'll have another bank of 12 hotkeys. And
I've saved Phandalin to Shift, so I can kind of keep all of that in one place. And then you said both Control and Alt give you another set of 12. So you have all kinds of availability. All right. So, yes, that's where I had seen it. Climbing up to a cave requires a strength check. And so Jenkins is able to climb up to one of these caves, and Litha's kind of struggling a little bit. She gets about halfway up and then kind of starts to slide. Go ahead and make me we'll take a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
All right, but you're able to grab onto the rocks and kind of dig in, so you're about halfway up.
I may not be strong, but I've got good balance.
You've got great balance and great reflexes.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these rocks are definitely a little slippery.
Mm-hmm.
Probably from the mist.
You can either try again, or maybe Jenkins can help you on your way up.
Do another strength check?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, big money. A little better.
All right. So, your heart dropped for a second there while you started sliding back down, but you're able to kind of find your way a little bit of an easier path, some handholds, maybe a couple of rocks that Jenkins knocked out of the way, and they're easier grips now for you.
Yeah.
And so with my check, was I able to get all the way up or just part way?
You were able to get all the way up.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'll catch up.
So
Just tell me what's going on.
I'm gonna
And I'll pull out a quick notebook and I'm writing down. And Litha scaled the dangerous steep cliff, nearly falling to her death on 3 separate occasions, but yet she grabbed hold and pulled herself on with her determination.
Her hair was perfect the entire time.
She stopped to blow it out of the way.
Yeah.
It got in her eye.
So now that you're at the top of this little cave entryway, you see 2 paths in front of you. You can either go directly east or directly north.
Which one looks to be less traveled?
Yeah.
It's a good question. They actually both look pretty equally traveled. Like there's they're not particularly dusty. You can tell that there's some foot traffic that passes through here.
And at this pivotal moment, Jenkins looked to Litha for guidance, and she chose the northern path.
Yes.
I jotted down in my little notebook. This is going to make the most epic tale of all time.
So here's Nomen Guard.
So I will follow you, Jen.
All right, here we go.
All right. So you get to this room. This room contains several dining tables and chairs sized for small folk. A stout wooden cabinet against the east wall holds some, you can see there's some like tin dishware set on top of it.
Would you like a small bite to eat?
Yes.
Perhaps a small snack. Does it appear to be recently used? Is there recent food there? Are there
is something hot?
So there's no food laid out currently. It looks like, maybe it's a little bit past breakfast time. Things have been put back away. You can kind of see the glisten of water on some of the plates. Maybe they've been washed recently.
Are there any small forks?
There are definitely some small forks.
I would love to take a small fork with me as a souvenir.
I just want to take a small fork. I think my theming skills are rubbing off on you.
Yeah, you can add a small tin fork, which I think I can add that for you, right?
That'll be pivotal later on in this quest. I know it's.
We will find a use for this small fork. Yeah. So either one of us can go, and I could do create item on my inventory and just type in small tin fork. I'm gonna put it in my backpack.
Nice.
Right, cool.
Perfect. You saw that pop up on your character sheet.
So shall we continue venturing forward, I presume?
Yes. Let's have at it.
Now that I've done that, I'm gonna stop and kind of listen to it. We don't hear any noise at all. No gnomish children playing in the background.
So I am definitely I am running a little bit by the seat of my pants today, so I didn't get as much time to prep as I would have liked.
Ask her lots of questions.
I know, ask me all the questions. So I know there's a location overview in here. It's a little bit quieter than you might expect for an area that you know that there's a clan of gnomes that live here. You would expect people to be moving around and talking with one another or going about their business, but it's maybe a little quieter than you would have expected.
So I don't want to just completely walk right into their area and unannounced.
It feels a little weird.
I will call out, "Hello, little gnomes. Hello, we have some friendly visitors who would like to talk with you."
All right. And where is that? The overview doesn't have the information I'm looking for, so. Let's see. I know the waterfall is loud. Most of the doors are standard. Okay. This is me looking for the DM information that I need, and there is a lot of DM information in here, right? This is literally a 1-to-1 representation of what's in the reference manual in the Essentials kit.
Correct.
All right, I think. You do kind of hear a door open to the north of you. and you hear kind of a little voice. Yes, yes. Hello, somebody there?
Hello. Hello, I'm Jenkins O'Blarney. We've come from Fandelver to check in with you.
Perfect. And kind of standing here in the doorway. So if I needed to grab a token, I could open NPCs, correct?
Yep.
And I don't believe there's a specific character here. Oh,
Any gnome will do.
any gnome will do. Oh, there we go. I wanted the token, not the pin.
We're suddenly talking to a giant pin.
Yeah, so if you want to put them on a map, you can put them into the combat tracker, even though it's not a combat, and then drag from the combat tracker to the map.
Aha, okay.
If it's a like a pre-built encounter that's linked to a story, you would just open the encounter and it'll add them in. But here we're basically putting someone on that wasn't in a specific encounter.
All right. And I would like visibility. I'd like you to be able to include in party vision. Or that will give you their vision, right?
Their vision, yeah. So you see underneath their icon, there's a little, looks like an eyeball. You can turn that on, or you can click on the eyeball in the combat tracker to turn them on for everyone.
There we go.
Yeah, and we should be able to see them.
All right.
Oh, once we come around the corner, so I need
Once
to...
you come around the corner, right.
So I heard the voice just ahead. Oh, there they are.
And I can open this door.
Aha.
And you see kind of in front of you is, where's the direct description? So you see a, small male gnome, probably about middle-aged. And he's got like a rag in his hands and he's like wiping them off.
Okay.
And
Is he eating a mushroom?
He's not currently eating a mushroom. But he's got, it's like he's cleaning like an oil from his hands. And it's like it's got like a reddish hue to it.
Okay.
But it's not blood.
It is not blood. It's definitely way more clear than blood would be.
Okay. Yeah. Murder gnome.
Murder gnome.
So you can zoom in on a map too. I don't know if there's something you want to do, but if you use your mouse wheel, you can zoom in.
And then you can click
areas.
your mouse wheel to kind of
click and hold the mouse wheel to pan around. Yep. All right. So hello. I'm Jenkins O'Blarney, and I extend my hand to shake his hand.
All right, and he's he tosses the rag to one hand and shakes your hand, and it's a little grimy and oily. It's a little like something definitely sticks to your hand.
You wipe it on me.
I kind of just hold my hand and then I put it on the back of Litha, and I bring her forward, and I say, and this is my traveling companion Litha, and then I just kind of slide it off of the back of whatever her jacket is.
Right, my leather armor.
It has other grime on it already. It's fine.
He says, yes. Well, my name's Dimble. And you found our kitchen. Can I help you?
Well, yes. Well, we hope. We were sent here from the town of Phandalin by Townmaster Harbin Wester, because there is rumor of a white dragon in the area that needs to be dealt with, and he thought perhaps the gnomes of Nomengard and all their great wisdom would have some sort of a device which may help us with this dragon.
Well, there's somebody you should talk to. You should either find Fibblestip or Dabbledob in the workshop. If there's anything that can help, it can probably be with them, but we have had a little bit of trouble going around here, and I'm not sure how much we can help right now.
Oh, well, what seems to be the problem?
Well, there's a few of our gnomes have gone missing, and our king has. It's like he's lost his mind.
Oh no!
Like lost his mind as in he will throw us in prison if we talk with him, or lost his mind as in something else?
Yeah. Well, he's barred himself in his room with his partner, and we haven't seen him in weeks.
Oh, wow.
What is your king's name?
That would be Korbaz. King Korbaz.
Okay. And who is his partner?
Let's see. His partner's name is not on this
Corbaz's
sheet.
partner.
His partner's name on a different sheet. That, of course, I'm now going to have trouble finding.
No problem.
All right,
Just
Letha, do you recall
learning.
the names of Dibblestop and
I thought it was Fiddlestick and Dibbledob.
Fiddlestick?
Dabbledob.
Fiddlestick.
Fibblestib,
Fibblestib.
and I will
Okay.
write those down for you. So this is where having a chat available is
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dabbledob.
Fibblestib
Fibblestib
and
or Dabbledob.
Okay.
And they can direct you to where the workshop is to talk to those two for more information.
Great. And his name was Dipple?
His name was... I want to go back
Dibble,
to the page I
yeah.
was at. Yeah, Dibble.
Dibble. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm doing kind of as a player as I'm playing the game is I just went to the notes section and I created a new note and just called it Nomen Guard, and I'm just going through, and as
Taking some
new
notes.
parts of the story are revealed, I'm just kind of making little notes.
Yep. So if I were to look at... I think that's something that only you can see, correct?
Correct. I could make it public, and then Jen and I could share the note, and then it would show up on her, so I'll do that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's cool.
Okay, I see it. Awesome.
And that shows up in your notes.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wonder
and if
that's
there's ever
something
an
that I
entire...
can't see.
The notes. So yeah, the notes is probably not normally on your sidebar,
Okay.
but you can access it from the library, or you could put it on your sidebar from there too. So
Ah.
if you go to library,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And
the top
notes.
of the library, there's all the little buttons at the top. So one
Yep.
of those will say notes, and then there's a little checkbox next to them that determines if it's checked, it'll show up on your sidebar.
Oh, cool. All right. Which I do have it up there. It's up there by character.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's nice that that's a quick reference I can see is the notes that you've shared.
Yep. And you can create your own notes, and then you can mark them public. And so the other thing is, like, for instance, that box text that you shared, I could drag that to a note if I wanted to save it for later, if it got scrolled off,
Oh,
or was on
very
a
cool.
previous session.
That's really handy. Yeah,
Okay,
notes. I'm already thinking of a lot of cool ways that as a DM I can use notes to, type secret messages, share things with different people without everybody having that info.
Yep. Yep. And you can also do whispers for that as well too, in the chat. Cool. All right. So King Korbaz, where's your king located?
So our king, well, he's currently in his quarters, but I'm using the wrong reference. Reference manual. That's what we want. Oh, we don't want the manual. We want Dragon of Icespire Peak. There we go. All right. Nomen Guard locations. Let's see. Which room is that? I know it's labeled, so there's the Gnome King's bedroom, which is, I believe it's behind the throne room. And I can tell you where the throne room is too.
Yeah, certainly.
But you may want to go talk to the Inventors first.
The Inventors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So the Inventors, he gives you some directions.
Okay.
And I will figure out which room that is. It's 11, which is... Now this is where the DM map would be handy, right?
Correct. The DM map will have all the numbers on it.
So we'll close that. So I know I'm looking for this room now. So he's going to tell you, well, you'll need to go south, and kind of keep going south until you find the rope bridge. You'll hear the waterfalls coming down the hallway. You'll want to cross the rope bridge and then head west, and that'll take you to the workshop.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Dibble. And the mushrooms out front on those islands. Can you tell us more about those mushrooms? Those things have really been just driving me crazy.
Very colorful mushrooms.
Oh yeah, that's actually what I was working on just now. Is, we pressed some of the mushrooms for oil, and one of them's really good for making wine out of. It's really tasty.
It's mushroom wine. Sounds interesting.
Are any of them dangerous?
No, they're all edible. They're all edible mushrooms. But the oil one's better for like cooking with, you know.
Okay.
But we eat the green ones are really tasty, and the purple ones are very sweet.
Oh, okay.
And well, if you ever want to try any, you know where the kitchen is.
Awesome.
I will bring my fork.
Hey, we have forks just like that.
Right.
That is a strange coincidence. All right. Well, yes. Thank you very much, Dibble. We will check in with Fibblestib and Dabbledob, and then hopefully the king. I hope to meet you again. Perhaps we can enjoy a fine, dinner together and share stories of excitement and adventure.
That sounds great. Well, we'll be here working.
Okay.
And you can kind of hear some like muttering in the background. You can tell there's some other gnomes in that room probably working.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's leave the working area as soon as possible. That doesn't sound like something fun. So let's move down.
All right. So watching there.
This looks like this curves around. Oh, that's
It
interesting.
does.
Aha. Are we up to the... Oh, hey, this is that other path that we didn't take.
Ah.
All right. So you come to another room. And bolted to the floor of this room is a rotating platform equipped with 4 heavy crossbows that have some kind of mechanical gears attached to them.
Ooh. Are they cocked?
Yeah.
They don't look like they're currently loaded.
Okay,
Oh, no, they do. They do look like they're currently loaded.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
But there's a little chair attached to each of the crossbows, so it's kind of like, it's like a gunner seat almost.
Okay.
All right. Just to be safe, I'm not going to stand directly in front of any of the crossbows. I'll be kind of slightly to the angle.
You are though.
I know. Right now it looks like it. Let me move halfway.
Yeah, you should go
there.
diagonal.
There we
Yeah.
go.
So as you enter, there actually is a gnome sitting in one of the seats.
Oh, nice. Hello, we're friends.
As you enter, you wave and you say hello, hi, you know, how are you? And a big old grin rolls up on her face, and she pushes the button. And we're gonna go into initiative. So.
Oh no! Why?
So I should probably be like right around here when that happened, right?
Yeah. So right around at the entryway.
Okay.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and load this.
All right. So initiative, I'll just open my main character sheet and then on the main tab.
So I'm gonna delete this old token.
Yep.
And add the encounter.
Correct. And the encounter will automatically put them on the map at the right spot and roll initiative for the NPC.
Perfect.
Rolled intelligence.
I'm gonna go ahead and delete our buddy from earlier.
And it's the same thing.
Yeah. There we go.
All right, so we have initiative in here, and let me go ahead and reveal these. So these are your the big C is the crossbow platform.
Yeah.
And then the gnome is currently seated on one of the platforms there. And does not look too terribly friendly at the moment. Or maybe a little overly friendly. I'll let you decide which is the case.
They seem exuberant.
I don't like that there's also 3 more crossbows that they can rotate over if I survive the first shot. This will be fun.
So, before that shot goes off, Litha, your danger sense is just tingling. And there's something about this situation that doesn't feel right. What would you like to do?
Yeah, maybe. Geez. My first instinct is to duck back down the hallway. But that's not very adventurous. How about just doing a perception check to just see anything?
Sure.
So let's see.
All right. So, you take a look around. You take everything in. You kind of have this moment of clarity where you see everything that's kind of going on. This female gnome that's in there. There is something unhinged about her demeanor.
Okay.
Like she's not entirely there.
She's acting a little crazy too.
Yeah. And and you do see that the crossbows that are mounted on here, they're heavy crossbows. They're pretty burly. And you think that they could probably do some damage. And you're not sure exactly what the mechanisms attached to it do, but you do think it has something to do with like loading, reloading.
Okay. So I don't think we're going to be able to reason with her very well. Maybe we can incapacitate her.
Okay. And I'm hearing this as I'm going,
yes.
Hi!
Act friendly.
Perfect. All right. You do. So that was your action. You do still have your move if you'd like to take it.
I think I'm good where I'm at.
Behind me.
Don't behind worry. The bard.
Jenkins will stop that crossbow bolt.
Or yeah. Okay. Well, she's seen both of us, right?
She has definitely seen both of you as you guys walked up.
Okay. And the giant hi.
Yeah. You know, at the very least, she's seen Jenkins. So.
Okay. All right.
All right, then I'll move to the next person in initiative, and that's just this button here, right?
A little down arrow.
Yep. So it's now her turn, and I have a whole slew of different things that I can do here. She seems very entranced with the contraption that she has. And she is going to push the button and see what happens.
Oh, no.
So, make sure that I'm doing this the way that it's supposed to work. So the thing is that it's an action that isn't on her, I believe.
Oh, so is it on the actual contraption?
I think it is, because they gave the contraption its own initiative.
So yeah, what you could do is you could click on the little air. I think it's like a sword or something like that to show the actions for that NPC. Okay. So even though it's not that NPC's turn, you can actually activate it directly there. So, yep, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not actually going to run the crossbow platform as having it, because it needs somebody to operate it. So
obviously, yeah, exactly.
So she's going to push the button, and what it does is it fires a crossbow bolt at you. So I guess if I were targeting you with it.
Yeah. So you probably have is it an attack versus like a ranged attack?
Yeah, it's like a ranged attack. So if I'm doing that,
you can drag the attack. It'll have like a plus whatever attack bonus on the combat tracker. Just drag that to my token on the map if you want.
Okay, I'm going to zoom in a bit and make that easier. All right, so she hits the button, and this crossbow bolt just goes like right over your shoulder, well beyond Litha, and like cracks at the back of the hallway behind you, and you hear the crossbow bolt shatter. And she just starts giggling gleefully, like she's very pleased with herself.
That is not funny.
No, it's not. I don't want to hurt her. That would be bad for diplomacy.
And that's pretty much, she then it takes an action to do that. So she's pretty much done with her turn.
Okay.
But you can see that she's happy in the seat that she's in. She's playing with buttons. That makes it Jenkins's turn.
Okay. So I am going to run and jump on top of the crossbow platform.
Okay.
Very nice.
You can't get shot, I don't think, if you're in the middle. Unfortunately, I can't quite see where it is, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to be in the center of it.
Could I send
Nice.
that to the back, maybe, or
We don't have. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if
let's
it has
see.
layering
Like a layer.
that.
Mm-hmm.
You could just turn the visibility off, I think, and it'll.
Oh,
then
that'll work. So set as always invisible.
That way, yeah, that way.
Yeah.
That way I can see the stuff, but you still have it in your combat tracker that you can use.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I jump on the top. Hopefully I can't get shot from there since all the little arrows are shooting out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna try to just kick her off of the seat.
Okay.
So I don't want to hit her with a rapier or anything like that, but I will.
Right.
So I would say that's probably either strength or athletics.
Okay.
Probably an athletics check.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that will be.
We'll kind of treat
Athletics.
this like a grapple, so she's going to make an
Yeah.
opposed.
Okay. So
Check.
let's see. With my wonderful +0.
Yeah.
Thankfully, she's not particularly skilled in acrobatics either, so that's just going to be a dex check for her.
She's too busy smiling.
Nope, that's not what we want to do. So how would I go about doing a dex check from her?
So you can double click on her token, and that opens up an NPC sheet.
Yep.
And then from there, you can just double click on her dex.
Ah, okay. Come on. You can do it, I promise. Maybe I used open the wrong
I think
window.
so. Let's see. No. Okay, I'm gonna look at your picture. So, yeah, let's see. You should be able to double click on it. Let me see. Oh, there's a C and an
There's
S.
a C and
next
an
to it.
S. So I
One
think
for
that,
check and one for save. Yeah.
Yep. So she does
She
manage to make her dexterity check.
She dodges out of the way.
So you go to kick her out of the chair, and she just kind of ducks to the side erratically, and your foot kind of hits the back of the chair with a thump.
Okay. Yeah. So that is all for me.
Yep,
I'm gonna sit there and try to at least keep her distracted so she's focused on me and not on the device. So
Sounds good.
right, cool.
Then we go back to the top of the round. That makes it Litha's turn.
Okay. Jeez. Can I just go in and get behind her?
Yeah, it looks like you have plenty of movement to be able to do that.
All right. And I mean, gnomes are pretty small, right? Can I just grab her?
That would be kind of the same thing, right? It's an athletics check, so you'd be trying to
All right.
yank her out of the seat.
And me with my +0. Okay. 8.
All right, we'll roll for her again.
Even
that goes.
slower.
Oh,
think I'm
natural one.
Nice.
Nice. This is great.
So as she's ducking out of the way of Jenkins's kick, you come around the side and just grab her and yank her out of the seat. And so you've got a hold of her now. She's like struggling
Right.
and kicking, but she's not really saying anything, which is kind of weird.
Sweet.
Perhaps she mixed the wrong mushrooms into her meal. She seems a little bit out of it.
something. It's like,
So that does make it her turn because it was a move in an action. And she's kicking and struggling in your arms. She's gonna try to escape. And so she's going to roll another dex check, and this will be a dex check opposed against your athletics check. So it's a second one, but she's at, I believe, disadvantage because you've already got a hold of her.
So disadvantage, there's an advantage and disadvantage next to the modifier box on the bottom left of the screen. So you could just click dis,
Okay.
and then you could just roll her dex
check.
check that way, and it'll roll 2 and keep the lowest.
Nice. So we'll roll those two. So I dropped the 15.
Nice.
She's trying to squeeze out of your arms. If you can
All right.
roll me
All
a
right,
strength
Jen.
to hang on to her.
You can do this, Jen. You can do it. Come on. Hang on to the little squirmy
right?
gnome.
She's just under my arm. Got her in a little, yeah. Like holding her, like carrying on luggage.
So I think she needs a
I do need a strength check.
Athletics check. Yeah.
From you, Jen.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you've got her wrapped up in your arms, and she's kicking and struggling, but it doesn't really seem like she's going anywhere. So
Oh.
at this point, I'm fine with calling the combat because you've got her kind of like grabbed up and wrapped up in your arms. She's not really going to be able to break this.
Got it.
So what would you guys like to do with her?
We've got rope, right? Is it okay to tie her up?
Oh, hey, anyone who shoots an arrow at me gets tied up. That's my new. I've made a new ruling on that. So yes.
Very sensible. I like this.
All right. So, Litha, do you happen to have any things for tying people up?
I do.
Okay.
Of course
I
do.
knew. I knew.
It's all I have.
Well prepared rogue.
Rope. Yeah, I have rope.
Okay. So yeah, I'll kind of help tie her up or hold her while Litha ties her.
Okay. So you guys are able to tie her up, and she's kicking and squirming, but once she kind of gets to a point, she doesn't really talk. Like every once in a while, she gets a word out, like she's like no, or ah, or like let me ah, but she can't quite form sentences. It's like she starts a thought and then it just doesn't finish.
Huh.
Okay.
This poor girl.
There's definitely something strange going on here.
Does she seem to be sick at all, or like she's not injured or anything?
Make me a heal check.
Ooh.
Right. That is medicine, right?
Yeah, medicine.
With my wonderful training. I think she's running a fever. What's the average temperature of a gnome?
You're not really able to suss out exactly what the source of her distress or confusion is, but there's definitely something going on.
She's probably just mad because she's short.
Could be.
Short-eyed.
It's just general frustration at the world.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm pretty sure all gnomes are this way. We just caught the other one in a good mood.
Right. That was the anomaly.
So we've learned a lot today. We've actually run up on our hour, so unfortunately I have to end it here, but there's something strange going on in Nomen, and you're starting to kind of suss out that something's not quite right, and you've taken one person captive. We'll see what you guys do with her next time.
This is going to be an epic story. What's rotten in Nomen.
So thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope you guys learned something. I know I learned a lot today. Stuff in combat, a lot of stuff with visibility, just kind of figuring out how to organize and run through a different portion of the adventure. All of this is really helpful things. So if there's anything that you guys have questions about, bring them next time. We'll be back here next week and we'll continue exploring Nomen and seeing what happens next.
Bye, everybody.
All right. This was awesome.
Thanks, Brandy.
Thanks for joining me. We'll see you guys